Got an unusual culture. Can't really see it too well, but it's rather pink to the offset, but it stays in its own substrate layer and it separates from all. It refuses to climb off of the bottle too. But yeah, that little patch there. And it wiggles on its own accordance. It refuses to play with the rest of the substrates. New one I'm working on, peroxide formula. So this is bacteria that survives in hydrogen peroxide. Christmas formula. The prototype soil is still really fucking complex, man. Started a new type of fungus in there. Never seen before. Don't know what the fuck that shit is. This one's the soil lifter with the more dense on top and the lighter weight on bottom, where I can get the substrate to flip using a cavity kind of burst method. And it pressurizes like a motherfucker, so it lifts the heaviest shit and just dumps it on the fucking top every time. So density value. But it'll separate over time. And then the weird part is like, it, no matter what, if there's heavier shit down here, it'll literally shove it through to the top every time. So it doesn't matter if you poke it with a popsicle stick and shove the heavy matter down here, it'll just doesn't give a shit. Got another one here. I call this the Happy Land formula. This was on Christmas. I handed these ones out. These ones are $250 a bottle. And I put a couple Merry Christmases out. But that's the patent one. And these ones become crystal fucking clear over time. This one still floats a little sediment. That's kind of like patent 2. These ones are around $250 a bottle. But they'll kick the fucking shit out of about 2 years worth of smoking. And all you do is shake them up. You eat bread ahead of time and drink caffeine after. And this one's unrefrigerated. Like the actual ones I made. Yeah. Like once you refrigerate them, it pretty much separates. Like damn near clean. That's like almost alien substrate at the bottom. But these took an entire fucking year to make. So once you shake them, you drink them, and that liquid will literally kick the piss out of about 2 years of smoking per person. I smoked for like a long ass time, and it just cleared my shit. Clean chest x-ray, no problem. Not a big issue. And then calciuminate formula is kind of like the heavy rolling rumblers at the bottom, real heavy culture. This one is damn near almost explosive in power, and this one is formed. So at the bottom there, those little rumblers, it breaks a water table, and that right there is going to form pretty much one of the most unique things in the world. This is actually okay, so I basically took vermiculite and killed it. So all this shit in the vermiculite, okay, filters through its own bacteria. And then with a denser excretion, creates a clear liquid. So I can take this, and I'll bring a bottle down here in a minute. And what it does is that type of stuff is separate of its substrate at the bottom, which means that is actually fungus bacteria, specifically cut apart. So I can take this fungus bacteria and actually plant it outside of vermiculite in a reactant soil formula. and it'll actually grow to separate water tables. That one, I'm still trying to figure out why it lifted that bit of substrate. But these are reactant soils. And the reactant soils split the specifications. So some are weird. If you look at this one, so the weird part about these ones is so let's say that culture at the bottom is kind of heavy with the soil added to it. And the weird part is in this chemical mixture, if the bacteria is heavy down here, it will literally, for no reason at all, throw the soil up. Fucking crazy, right? So however much bacteria you have heavy sediment here, it actually throws up soil 4, which I'm still figuring out to this day. That process is fucking mind-boggling. This one's got its own digestive aid for this one, and that's its own culture. That thing, you can put that in you and it'll digest literally battery acid, eating tires, glass, whatever. It's wonderful. I got a couple more back there for sale. These ones are starting to procure little bits by little bits. $1,000 bottles were mixed into those, so those ones are curing. And then this one's starting to go with the large kind of like mass effect on the top here. These ones are actually for soil formulas. I mix these in bags of soil and they'll grow damn near anything. Kind of fun. And then these ones grow in hydrogen peroxide. These are actual bacteria that'll grow and like straight up, that's just pure hydrogen peroxide. And it's still got active cultures in it. And these ones kind of a different color, but they're kind of bluish green. But and then the icing on the cake, this one's nuts, dude. Very, very dangerous though. But so this one's a little winner here. So this one's for like prototype labs and stuff like that. So this one here, actually in the giant jar. In the giant jar, let me grab something real quick. Watch that. Okay, so this one is a bit out there. So it's kind of foggy. Can't really see through it. It's filled with nitrogen. So this is, you can kind of see how it scatters the light a bit. But it's nitrogen. So down here it's got its own kind of culture substrate. Hard to recognize or identify. But in here is basically a nitrogen-based vinegar that raises up. It causes its own kind of like perpetual sweat, I guess. Let me see if I can get it through the backside. 1 second, dude. And basically it's filled with bleach and nitrogen and vinegar, and it's encapsulated in pure gas. So basically nothing on earth should fucking grow bacteria in that. Like that tube is basically filled with just straight up, like that's pretty much bleach. So it's actually growing bacteria in bleach, like a culture. But I had to do it in a different gas substrate. So that one's going to sit there for about 6 months, and that'll be one of the rarest bacteria in the world. It's like hard to see because it's filled with gas, but so basically I just put nitrogen in here, inject it, and then close it. So it's sealed in there. This is a pure nitrogen gas. At the bottom is nitrogen vinegar. Nitrogen vinegar pulls gas up. Nitrogen injection pulls up. So it's like being at the top of Mount Everest. Then at the same time, in the tube is bleach and caustic soda pouring out gas, and then that vacuums in nitrogen. So nothing should survive in there, but it's kind of got its own little like world in there. It's hard to focus on, but see how many molecules are in there? It's fucking crazy. But yeah, it's actually growing a culture in there somehow. So I'm gonna terrarium that for a bit, but it's kind of hard to see through. And that's a crystal clear glass too. I just cleaned it. So, but it's gonna fog up, cause like almost an ammonium. It'd be like ammonia, chlorine, nitrogen gas, or ammonia, bleach, chlorine, nitrogen. So that's gonna be caustic, but it's actually growing fucking bacteria in there. So that might be some hectic shit, but that's why it says, "Do not touch ever without Trevor Tangy. Merry Christmas." That's it. Get back to you later on.